Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Secret Life of Rabbis. I'm here with Rabbi Ross, who's doing fantastic work in Manchester. Let's go for it. Background and why you became a rabbi.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Fine. It's such a tremendous zechus, such a privilege to be with you, not just because of who you are and the amazing creative programs that you put on, but something that you may not be aware of. My grandparents were members of the shul in Stanmore, and my grandfather many years ago actually went with him when he was the Chassan Torah in the shul. And I've got fond memories on a Sunday afternoon going with him to Mincha Mariv in Stanmore Shul. So it's a tremendous, tremendous privilege to be here with you. So I was brought up in Edgware and then Hendon. And then when I went off to yeshiva, I definitely didn't have the plan to stay forever as a rabbi or anything like that, come off, go into business, whatever it was. And I realized after a couple of years that if I could do something for the Jewish community, why not? No one else can. And actually, Hamayan started doing amazing work in Gateshead. So I love the idea, I didn't really think of working with teenagers, which is interesting because I did it for 11 and a half years in 3 different cities, in Berlin, Calgary, and Vancouver. I really got turned onto the idea in a life of trying to help the Jewish people.
Amazing. So so there's Calgary, Vancouver, and now Manchester.
And Berlin, if you don't mind.
And Berlin, sorry. Oh my gosh, Berlin. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is
definitely the cheapest way to see the world is to become a rabbi.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So how many years were you in each place?
So Berlin was a year and a half, about 18 months. Wonderful time over there. Calgary in the Canadian Rockies was 4 years. Vancouver was 6 years, and now Manchester is about 3.5 years. Wow. Which is, we love Seed and we love Manchester, and we hope to stay forever, but on average, we're about 4 years to a city. So anyway, but please God, I'll be here forever.
Okay, I'm just trying to work out which is the coldest place. Must be Calgary,
that's
right?
Calgary, hands down. An average day in the winter is -30. You can get a -20 wind with it.
Oh my
gosh. You ever been in -50, Rabbi Fine?
I know, I'm freezing at -1.
Oh my goodness, you Brits.
What do you do?
It's, I don't know, because I was a Brit moving to Canada. I mean, now we're dual citizen, but it's like, we're just not made for it. And when I moved from Calgary to Vancouver, Vancouver's the one place in Canada that actually stays warm. Wow, what a blessing.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Get rid of my winter coat.
But what do you walk out? So you can't walk outside, surely,
right? You can't walk out. You just shul is a challenge on Shabbos. An 18-minute walk becomes 40 or 45, trudging through thick snow. But it was very interesting. A lesson that I had from about 13, 14 years ago when we moved to Calgary. The first winter, it was -20 on Shabbos, and I made it. And my glasses were, they had the ice in front of your eyes and everything else. And I was thinking, people aren't going to come. It was interesting. Those who had a commitment to Yiddishkeit, they came. Those who didn't really, I was assumed, that the parking lot would have been full, but it wasn't. It was, if it's too cold, you didn't come. But it was a big lesson to me. Those who have a commitment are in. And if it's -20 or -50, they'll come to shul. It's very interesting to me.
Wow. Okay, amazing. Let's move on a little bit to the personal elements. We want the most meaningful moment, and then we're going to ask you, if possible, for the most embarrassing moment.
Okay, so the most meaningful moment, I believe, I guess, especially the work that I have done, which it's interesting how Hashem orchestrates things. I always thought I was going to work with students because I'm intellectual, so I thought, but Hashem kept sending me towards teenagers, which was very interesting. We moved to Calgary. I'm going to work on the UFC there, which I did 3 years later. But in the end, I actually got this amazing award actually from NCSY for me and my wife for best of the best. Which was very interesting because I was determined not to do it, to work with teenagers. And yet, I think this is sort of a meaningful moment, but there's 2 parts of it. When Hashem puts you in a position, adapt yourself, even if you're no good at it, and become good at it. Hashem has put you in a position, go for it. But then there's a second element, which is, we've seen all sorts of failures and successes over the years. Don't ask me to speak about the failures in a minute. But I think it's when you go to a student's wedding. Now, some of my students from 13 years ago who are 14 are now 26, 27. I'm going to some of their weddings. And when you're there, and there is no question that there was a 90% intermarriage rate, that statistically they couldn't have married a Jew. And here they are under the chuppah, maybe religious, maybe even in yeshiva. But the fact they're having a Jewish wedding, there is no feeling like it. And it's just tearful. I just don't think there's a feeling like that.
Amazing. Beautiful. Embarrassing moment?
I don't think you
moment single.
So I thought about this, and the truth is, I could actually give you the most incredibly embarrassing moment. Actually, it happened in Germany about 14 and a half years ago on Sukkot. A really brutal, horrible moment that I think I really learned from. But you know what? Even though I was in front of 150 people and I made a mistake, maybe it wasn't the most embarrassing moment that I ever did. And you know what that was? That's when I let down my students. I don't think there's anything bad as a rabbi that if you genuinely care for them, when you make mistakes, and there are definitely embarrassments when I said things that I shouldn't have said, and maybe I was trying to trying this or trying that, but in the end you've got to be fully full. And I like to think I make different mistakes these days, but at the end of the day, I think even though there are bigger embarrassing moments, those were my embarrassing moments, the times that I made mistakes with students early on.
I totally hear that. I'm not going to tell you my embarrassing moment either. Not yet.
Well, we're going to have a special 7-minute interview on that one, Rabbi.
It's going to take you more than that. Okay. Role of a rabbi. How do you think a role of a rabbi has changed?
So that's a great question. I mean, I'm only in this game about 15 years, and I love it. So I can't comment what was decades ago. But what I know, especially from moving around the world and working with different age groups, everything from 3 to probably 90 or 100, is it's not a 9-to-5 job. You've got to be willing, if necessary, when necessary, 15 hours a day. And I remember once getting a call. I was totally unprepared. I was a teenager and the student rabbi in Calgary, and the rabbi was out of town. And I got a call from somebody unfortunately was passing away on their deathbed. And I just had to go. It didn't matter that I was prepared for it, not prepared for it. That wasn't my thing. You just have to go. And that has to be the mindset. You're here to help people. You love the people.
Amazing. I'm going to ask you one last question. It's a loaded question, but it's a question. Do you think that rabbis are undervalued?
Wow.
That's not a pay rise question.
Yeah, it's a really hard question.
That is a societal one.
And I think, as you said, it's a societal one. I think it may depend where you are. Again, we spent most of our experiences in Western Canada, and I've got to speak about those communities, that there is nothing that they put ahead of respect for the rabbis. I think it's known for it. So again, I think we've been managed a bit of time now, but I actually find that they extremely value what the rabbis do, that they love them, that they care for them, and maybe more than that, that when they are fully comfortable and the rabbi sees an opportunity for them to grow, that they're willing to listen to that. And I think you've got to be both. I think you've got to be there to love them, but also when the part of the love is when they need it, it's also to help them. And I think that they do value that. And I've got tremendous respect for the people who have that value. I hope that answers your question, Rabbi Fine.
Beautiful. It does. Look, wise words. You should continue tremendous success. You're doing amazing things. And we look forward to hearing even more. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All the best in your series. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.